Because if I turn it off, down it goes. Turn it back on, up it goes. Now we're going to play with the auto upper vent. We'll turn this on. There you go. Did you notice that rose up? Hey y'all, I have another installation to add to the series of Infiniti M features and how to get to enjoy your vehicle a little more. Today's discussion is going to be on a feature of the HVAC system, and I will keep referring to it as the AC system just because it's easier to pronounce. So HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, right? So the feature I'll be talking about is this button over here, this one that says auto upper vent, and it is a feature in the 2006 through 2010 Infiniti M35 and M45, and it kept going into the 2011 and up Infiniti M's. That is the M37, M56, M35 Hybrid, Q70, Q70 Hybrid, and Q70L. Okay, whew, that's a lot. So by design, and I can't really speak too much about the design language and what was going on, but generally you have a flattish panel, and in this one here, this is a 2008 M45S, you have like a double panel, right? Flattish. I think the focus had been on the control panel for the driver, so things are accessible for the most part, but what you end up with is a straight line of vents, right? You have, starting from the front, you have your defroster vents over here, and these blow into the windshield directly. You have this one here, which you can't really control, it blows in onto the side, onto the window glass. You have this one's here, which are the upper ones, 2, 3, 4. You have some under the seats that you can't see, and these blow into the footwells into the rear footwells. You have another set over here. I don't know if you can see that, right? You have other vents back there, and I believe you actually have some all the way back, but I can't see them right now. I can't really remember. But so you can obviously, you know, close or open any of these anytime you need, but generally personally I like to have some air movement, right? And I think this is why I keep sticking to Nissans and Infinitis. I think the way the program just works with what I learned in school with regards to HVAC, right? So I didn't really learn automobile HVAC. It was more commercial building HVAC, but what it is that, so this one here, you can close it if you want to. These here end up serving the car most, right? Because these blow into the general cabin area. And when you have heat, when you're trying to heat the car, right, in the winter, maybe when it's colder, or maybe your set point is just really high, normally you'll see when you have it on auto, all your air gets directed to the bottom, and that's perfect. However, when you're trying to cool down the vehicle, most of the air will be directed to the top, and that's just more of a physical, the laws of physics, or with regards to, if you paid attention to science class, right? Hot air rises, cold air sinks. So when you have hot air and you're trying to warm up the car, you just blow it down here, then it will rise and warm everything else. And when you have you're blowing cold air, you blow it up and it will go down and cool everything down. If you do the opposite, I mean, kind of just inefficiently trying to condition the air that you have. So in addition to all that, and I'll try to explain how this system, how it's supposed to work. It's very simple actually, right? So in these cars, you have another set of vents. You have a pair, you have a vent here, and a vent here. So if you have a grill up here, you do have upper vents as well, right? And the purpose of those vents is to prevent direct blowing of air onto your body. It's a little bit of a focus on occupant comfort is what I'd say. I was thinking of convenience, I don't know why, but occupant comfort. So what happens is that when you push this button and you activate it by having the light on, it diverts most of the air that would have come into these two vents and sends that air upwards. This one here does not really get affected much, and neither does that, but then, you know, you can turn that away from you. I really don't know. I mean, people come up with their own features. All I know is that I do like to use that, and I think my default is auto vent on. However, every once in a while, maybe you just came from a game or just you need to, I don't know, whatever the reason is, and you need to get air blown onto your chest violently, I do turn that off, right? So let's turn on the car and try to make sense of this system. Okay, so it's summer and whew, boy, it is 101 outside. It is hot. It's a hot one. Might be a few degrees cooler, but it just runs hotter when, according to the car sensor. So this is what I have it on auto. That means the AC is on. Right now it's recirculating. It's trying to cool it down fast. Auto upper vent. And this is what happens when you have the auto upper vent button pushed, or whenever you have the system on. So let me push it to turn it off and see what happens to the screen. Did you see that? Push it again. Alright, so as you can see, it's trying to say that air will be blown over the person, right? And if you pay attention, let me turn off the AC. There's usually a change of sound whenever that happens. So turn off the AC part of it, crank up the fan speed, close that. So all your air is coming out from here. Well, I also have air back here, but for the sake of demonstration, this should work. So, and I'm sorry, the sun started like setting, so it's facing us. But what you have now is air coming out of these vents, right? And I can feel it right now. I'll find a way to, well, I do have a way to demonstrate it. I hope it will work on video and here, right? So you have air coming from both places. So try to listen. You might hear a pitch change. Doesn't it sound a little more gentle, right? Okay, so let's do the demo now. Fan speed all the way down. And I've got my handy dandy helper here. I needed something with frills, something light. So I got paper towel. And what I'm gonna do, put something heavy-ish on it. Alright, so right now it says, let's have vent off. Let's start with the default. Okay, so increase the speed a little bit to 1, 2, 3. Well, increase it by 3. Okay, see that, right? So it is getting blown, and you can obviously, that's very evident here. Just trying to find a way to make it, there you go. So this is being blown because if I turn it off, down it goes. Turn it back on by just the fan, up it goes. Okay, so now we're going to play with the auto upper vent, with the upper vents. Turn this on. There you go. Did you notice that rose up? Turn it off. Down it goes. Let's do this again. Turn it on. Turn it off. So what you'll realize is that this one never really stops blowing. What it does, it directs a lot more of the air toward, let me close the one in the back. Maybe that diversion is kind of making it less effective for my demonstration. Upper. Upper off. Okay, there you go. So that's what it does. And as I said, what's the relevance? For the sake of comfort, you don't want the air blowing at your face or your arms or your belly, whatever it is, basically your body, your chest area. You switch it to upper vent, and up it goes. So let's increase this for dramatic effect. As I I said, this one never really stops. But if I turn the upper vent off, stops. Whoa, there you go. Upper vent. It shares a little bit of the load, and this one becomes less aggressive. It doesn't exactly stop, right? I wish I had better material for my demonstration, but that's gonna have to work for what I was trying to show today. And off. I think when you turn up the fan speed, the change in pitch is way more evident at that point, right? So, alright, well, I don't want to bake myself in here with some 100-degree air. Yes, I have my set point, but for the most part it is trying to cool. Oh, let's do this. I was talking about, science class, and temperature determines where it blows, right? So let's increase the temperature. So right now it's not going to do anything because it's no longer auto. When you put it in auto, it decides where it's going to disperse the air. But for now, because I messed with it, I'd have to change the mode. You can hear all the different, all the vents opening. So this is it. Let's turn it back to auto. Does its thing, decides where it wants to blow. And again, there was that, so it's going to lift it up. Let's do it again. It's shared. Okay, so with all that, I'd like to say that's pretty much what the feature does for your Infiniti 2006 and up, and I'll see if I get an opportunity to demonstrate the same feature in 2011 and up Infiniti M or Infiniti Q70, because here it's very easy. It's right here, just push that button. So in the M56, same day, same time. This one says it is 89 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So who do you trust? All I know is that it's hot. Anyway, so the M56 2011 and up, right? Right now I haven't been running it, so it's gonna try harder to cool down the car. But you have a similar setup with regards to the vertical surfaces, right? Pretty similar, which reminds me, what happened to that video review that I made where I was talking about similarities and differences? Anyway, so you have these vents over here, you have these vents over here, which I'm going to close for the sake of demonstration. These ones are going to stay open. The ones in the rear, I'm going to close as well. Close that. Okay, so now everything I have is being blown through these vents over here, and very little is seeping past the top. So you have an upper grill on the M56 as well, and this one's pretty easy. Just do this, and what's up here? As I said, a little bit of it seems to be seeping past. Well, a lot, because it's, as I said, I usually default to to upper vent. So in this case though, it's not as easy as just pushing a button, because in this car the extra button was taken up by my forced air system again, and that's a video for another day. So here what you do is hit climate, then you have AC and all that stuff, right? So upper vent is right there. You could use your little knob to toggle there. You could use this to toggle, or you could just touch it. It says on, you could turn it off, and off it goes. And then this gets way more aggressive in blowing, right? Well, let's turn the fan speed down a little bit just for demonstration. You need to be able to see what's going on. So there you go. And then put this up here, and upper vent on. Let's use this, upper vent on. Uh-oh. Come on, man. I can feel it for the, well, I know why it's not as aggressive as I would like it to be, so turn it off. Let me just get a little closer, turn it off. You can see the paper towel relaxing. Okay, how about one sheet? Work with me, man. Turn it all on. Just a little bit of action, just a little bit. Guess you gotta find it right where it needs to be. Okay, I've been trying to avoid this, but I'll just increase the fan speed. Okay, so right now it's on. And turn it off. On. Off. Yeah, it's not as dramatic as it was in the M45. The demonstration of it hasn't been. I don't know if this does it a little more actively towards the windshield or what, but yeah, the design here is just slightly different, a little smoother. Hiding of the vents you don't need to see and things like that, but pretty much feel at home like it was in the M45, right? So again, I think here it's a little more crucial because of how much lower. You'd say this is about 8 or so inches lower. That means if you have this vent blowing full blast, it's going to hit you right in the chest. And I suppose, you know, at the end of the day, you don't want your your nipples getting too affected. So yeah, I hope the video explains in a way what the upper vent feature is and how you could use it to your advantage. So whenever you're running it, especially if your vents are blowing, your upper vents are blowing, you could have it on upper. And I suppose the part that I didn't say is this: it says auto, especially in the M45. I believe there is a time it actually stops, and maybe that's a video I need to come back and check, maybe in the, you know, in the spring or in the fall, because then it decides, hey, do we need to heat up the car, do we need to cool it down? Then it decides whether it wants to activate the upper ones or not. I can't remember, but I know that's why you have that auto verbiage in the 2006 through 2010 one. As I said, this one here just says upper vent. And what I like about my system, again, I just usually set it to auto, and it decides what it wants to do. As long as you have this one on, it decides what it wants to do. So at some point I will get my my opportunity to talk about my forest air system, because that's an interesting one. And I think I hear a lot of people who are skeptical of how the system works, but it's a pretty good system, and it's very effective according to my experience. See, quick clean and all that. And I usually see that when you hit status, it will tell you. There you go. Sometimes that clean goes away. But yeah, that's a video for another day. For now, this is just a long video about one button, or in this case, 2 steps. Climate and that. All right, all the best, my people, and I hope you still out there doing your thing with the Infiniti M's. Enjoy them, keep them safe, keep them well maintained. All right, stay safe.